I am back with another spooky story, and this one is a submission from Trinidad. We're gonna call the person who submitted the story Waves. So Waves took a rideshare, and once the driver picked her up, she asked the driver if he knew about the area that she was going to. And he said yes, I'd been up there once, and it's a place I'd never forget. Waves lives in the countryside. He picked her up in the port of Spain, so town. So as he's driving, he starts telling Waves about his experience in that particular area. So, the driver and a friend went to the waterfall, which is the entry street just one street away from where Waves was going. Now, there's a bit of a hike to get there, and it's very forested, like very tall trees. So most people know that when you go there, you don't have a guide, so it's best that you leave before 4 p.m. So before 4 p.m., you better be back on that main road. So the driver and his best friend, they went up, they got snacks, drinks, and some herbs to smoke. They got there around 12 p.m. They bathed, they enjoyed the beautiful vibes that there's usually a lot of people there. They had a smoke, they were so chilled, they fell asleep. When they woke up, it's almost 5 p.m. and of course, the place is getting dark. So afraid that they might get lost on the way out, they hurried to get out. Now at that time, the forest itself already looked like it was 7 p.m. It was that dark. Now here's where it got strange. As they were trying to make their way out, they heard a baby crying. And the more they walked, the louder the cries got. So thinking that someone must have abandoned a baby in the woods, they followed the cry until eventually it led them to a tree. And lo and behold, there was a baby wrapped up. Seemed to be a newborn. And of course they decided to pick the baby up and take it with them. The driver took his friend's stuff and his friend picked up the baby and they started walking again. Now the driver starts to notice that his friend is breathing very heavy. So he looks over and he's like, okay, maybe he needs help. So his friend said, insert Trini accent, "This baby getting heavy, boy. This baby's getting heavy, boy." So they decided to switch. As he's trying to take the baby from his friend, the baby just starts hysterically crying. Real loud, almost like this baby is screaming. The driver got agitated a bit, so they just keep the baby. While his friend had the baby, fair enough, the child was quiet. As they started walking again, his friend started struggling again. He was huffing and puffing as if he was carrying a ton. So again, the driver offered to take the baby. This time when he was about to take the baby, he noticed that the baby's legs were longer, but he still tried to take the baby. This time though, the baby had its arm around the friend's neck like an older child. The baby held on and would not let go of his friend. Suddenly, bear with me now. Suddenly, the baby's head turned and looked at him and said in a deep voice, "If all y'all know is good for all y'all, you will put me back where you find me." I ate that? No. That's fine. The eyes of this thing had no white, it was just dark. But somehow the eyes were still glowing. And of course, the driver and his friend were almost ready to release everything they ate and drank that day. Now the friend is trying to get the baby off of him, but the baby just won't let go. Scared out of their minds, they said that, you know what, we have to go back. They somehow managed to find the tree to put the thing back, which was now a baby again, and they let it go. They somehow managed to find the tree to put the thing back, which was now a baby again, and it let go. Now Wave said, now most people know when you meet a zombie, you never turn your back till you clear out of its sight. They walked backwards, not sure if they were lost, but they got to the road clearing and took off. And the driver said that for weeks he couldn't sleep. And a friend of his told him that he had something on him. They took him to a spiritual lady, aka an Obia woman. She said that she couldn't even allow him to enter her house, for there was something on him in which he had to do several cleansing at sea for a certain amount of time. She also told the driver that he cannot help his friend, nor should he even be around him, or he too will suffer the same fate. About 2 months after, his friend was still having difficulties with sleeping, eating, etc. The driver said it broke his heart to have to tell his friend that he can't be around him anymore. His friend was in such a state that he ended up in a mental institution. Till this day, the friend still hears the baby crying. They were about 18 when this happened. They are now in their 40s. When the driver got closer to where Waves lives, he started cold sweating. He was so terrified that when he dropped her off, he drove off at high speed. That was a good submission. If you have a spooky story that you would like to tell, feel free to DM them to me either on Instagram or message me right here on TikTok. Just go straight out the gate, submit the story. Don't ask, can I submit? Yes, you can. Just submit the stories. And if you have not already, make sure you follow me on Instagram just so that I know that it's real. Duh! While you're at it, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have long-form spooky stories. Anyway, I love you, my abducted humans, from your favorite Haitian homegirl. Someone submitted a story to me that made me question everything. I am back with another spooky story. You guys have been bullying the fuck out of me for a spooky story, and I'm tired. Damn. I'm clocking in. We're gonna call the person who submitted the story Lola. Lola asks, what if life is more mysterious than we think? Now, Lola said before this, she's never experienced anything creepy in her life, never had a paranormal experience, even though she wouldn't know if she would consider this a paranormal experience. Lola suffers from seizures, and she had a really bad seizure back in 2020. She was in the house alone, and she fell while she was seizing and hit her head. This was a really intense seizure that after it was done, she pretty much passed out. It wasn't until people got home later that they saw her and got her to the hospital, to which she was in a coma. From Lola's perspective, she remembers everything going white. After everything goes white, the next thing she knows, she is a kid again. And she has the same parents, but just some things were a little bit different. She said when she went back to being a kid, she was shocked by everything because what is going on? Is this a dream? Like, what's happening to her? She would freak out. She'd run and tell her parents about this life that she has, but she has this husband and kids. Her parents thought that, oh my God, like, you know, your imagination is really crazy. Lola says that days, months, and even years went by as she fully grew up and memories of her old life started to fade, where she became fully settled in this new reality, where she became that person, completely forgot about her life. Well, on her 21st birthday, she has a seizure in her sleep, to which everything goes white again, and she wakes up in a hospital bed to a strange man that she faintly recognizes crying over her and two kids calling her mom. Said at this point, these people felt familiar, but she didn't quite know who they were. And she can feel their emotion and their joy, but she couldn't share that with them. She winds up getting discharged from the hospital. She goes home with her husband and kids. Her husband tells her that she'd been in a coma for the past 2 weeks. And now she has to work on getting her memory back. She's telling this man that she doesn't know him or these kids, and that her name is not Tiana, but Lola, and she has a boyfriend, his name is Joseph, and she lives in Connecticut. This is all strange. And her husband is showing her these pictures from their wedding day to family events to the kids. She sees herself in these pictures, but she doesn't recognize herself. She says she went through a major depression. As the days went by, some memories from her old life, aka Lola's life, started to fade, while her old ones from her original life were coming back. Lola says that as she noticed that her memories were fading, she journaled everything because she just could not let go. Every once in a while, she would dream of that life, and she feels so much guilt about it because she has her kids, but she misses her other life so bad. Lola said to protect herself, she had to stop talking about this completely because other people started to think that this was a threat to her mental health. She was even taken to a mental institution once, and she had to lie to get out of there because she knew what happened, what she lived, and what she experienced. So even though this may not be the spooky story that you were hoping for, she wants the people to know that there's a lot more to life than you might think. Okay, so if you have a spooky story that you want to submit, feel free to DM me or either on Instagram or right here on TikTok. Submit the story and double check your grammar. You guys need to follow me on Instagram. It's Rebecca_journey. Yeah, at the top of my page. Also my YouTube for longer, spookier stories. Come on, y'all. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's literally free. I love you, my abducted humans, from your favorite Haitian homegirl. What if it's not God or religion, but it's you? Now, this might ruffle a few feathers, and if you can't handle that, just don't watch this video. When great things happen, people tend to say that was God. When terrible things happen, people tend to say that was the devil. The devil made him do it. The devil made me do it. But what if it was neither, but it was just you? I look at life like a video game. In order for you to advance to the next level, and usually the next level is more difficult and requires more skill that you gain from the previous levels, there's a task or lesson that you have to learn before you can go on to the next round or to the next season. So when you're being rewarded, was it God or was it you? I'm not here to debate whether God is real or not. It's more of a what if God was more of a guide. I think we forget that we have free will, and the decisions that we make today directly affects the outcomes of tomorrow. So again, is it God or is it you? And the same thing goes for the opposite. I think a lot of people suck at taking accountability and don't have the ability to be very honest with themselves. They blame it on external factors. I mean, obviously there are events that are out of your control. Every single thing that you go through is a lesson. What if the universe is showing you, or God, whatever you want to call it, your higher self, you are strong enough to do it by yourself. You are capable of rising from the ashes because you are that powerful. You are that being. You are that bitch. What if, right? And I think that people like B. Simone, because I just saw her video talking about, I'm not going into 2025 with people who are into astrology and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, she used to carry a rose quartz in her bra for 12 years. I'm not here to talk about the Bible facts of spirituality also being used in the Bible or the fact that she's a hypocrite. Let's talk about it like this. Say you've been drifting through life and you have this one issue, and that one issue being insecurity, like you're really insecure and you're just drifting through life and you come across spirituality. When you get into spirituality, much like getting into a new hobby, you get this boost of joy. You gain all this knowledge and you learn that you may possibly be able to fix the main thing that you dislike about yourself the most. And you just go on blindly without ever being honest with yourself. And 10 years later down the line, now you're 12 years down the line and you realize, wait a minute, I am still dealing with the same issues that I was dealing with 10 years ago. And because of our inability to be honest and take accountability, it can't be our fault. It gotta be spirituality's fault. It gotta be the crystals' fault, because the crystals clearly did not work. And all that person did was use spirituality as a band-aid to cover up their insecurity. You never got to the root of the problem and worked on the insecurity. The insecurity, babes, is still there. You just covered it up with something temporary. And after all this time, you're getting older and you're realizing you're still dealing with the same problem. All you did was take off that band-aid and replace it with a new band-aid, Christianity. I'm just going to go back to God. I'm just going to go back to praying to God, and I'm going to pray these insecurities away. When in reality, it doesn't matter how much you pray these insecurities away. You're still going to experience them because that's your thing to deal with. That's your dark night of the soul. That's your trauma to get yourself out of, so you can live to see a better day. Now, whereas God will guide you, I don't know if he'll fix the issue for you, because then what did you learn? And if that was the case, a lot of devoted Christian women wouldn't go through half of the bullshit that they go through if that was the case. They would just meet the one. Imagine you pray to God to get a man, then you do get a man, and it's not good. It's bad. Now you're staying because you prayed for him, and you're miserable every day wishing that you had the actual man of your dreams. Some situations wind up even worse, DV, and other issues. You didn't fix the problem. You just ask God for a gift to make you feel better about the problem. The only gift that the universe or God can give to you, and the only gift that God or the universe can give you at this point, is a gift of your likeness. It's a mirror of you. And those gifts almost always brings out the problem that you're trying to run away from or pray away in the first place. So again, what if it's not God or religion, but it's you? I wish people like B. Simone luck in their journey, and I hope she finds a man. Girl, I'm rooting for you. But I don't know if this rebrand into Christianity is what is... I mean, it might bring her a new man, but unfortunately, it's just going to be a Christian man that is the exact same version of all, well, a carbon copy of all of the other previous men that she's had. Learn something from this. From your favorite Haitian homegirl.
Ask someone in your dream what the date and the time is or whatever.
Okay, this happened to me last night. Let there be light. Oh, hello. So, I've been trying to do this ever since I've seen this TikTok. For whatever reason, it's hard for me to lucid dream when I'm telling myself to lucid dream and to have a mission on top of that, okay? Last night, I was successful. Okay, so I was dreaming, and I don't know where I was going, but it seemed like I was walking, like, I was following a bunch of people that were walking, like, a certain direction. And then I stopped, and I looked at my hands, and I said, oh my God, I'm like lucid dreaming right now. So the second I realized I was dreaming, I was like, okay, I have to do this. I have to ask one of these characters what time and what date it is right now. But I can't blow my cover because these dream characters get so mad when you realize that you're dreaming. So I walk up to one of these characters. I'm trying to keep my cover, and I tell them, I said, yo, can you tell me what time it is right now? And I remember this guy, y'all. I've never seen this face before, but I remember him so vividly. He was a white guy. He had salt and pepper hair and salt and pepper beard. And for whatever reason in that dream, wherever we were at, we were all wearing gray and white. I don't know. So anyway, I approached this man and I asked him, can you tell me what time it is? And this man tells me, if you have somewhere to be, you're not gonna make it. I said, okay, but like, what time is it? Then he said, we don't do that here. Obviously, I'm dreaming, so I know we're in the middle of the night and I don't have actually anywhere to go. But I'm just like, wait, what do you mean? And the second I thought that, why did I get like, I swear to God, a portal opened behind me and I got sucked into the portal, into the next dream, to which I was no longer lucid.
So you know how I be telling y'all to stop messing with things that y'all don't know about? Scary story time.
Hi, it's me again. I got another one. So if you're into stories about shapeshifters and loups, this is a story time for you. Now this story is brought to you by my aunt who lives in Haiti, and this is actually her story from childhood. I cannot make this shit up. So according to my aunt, my dad, her, and her brother grew up in this house called La Jab, which means the house/yard of demons. Now, through these voice notes, I just found out I actually had some loups in the family. In Haiti, depending on where you live, you would have to physically leave your house, bring a container, go to a place where there's fresh water, collect water so you can go back home. So that day, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, with my grandfather were going to get water. So this person that was walking behind them her name is Vaughn. That was my grandmother's cousin. There were always rumors that Vaughn was a loup, but my aunt never really saw her do anything suspicious, so until... Now, again, I know this is really going to sound unbelievable and schizo. Now, bear with me. This is their aunt. They used to go fetch water together, so why would they have to believe that she's a loup? Until one day. So all the kids are playing outside in La Jab. Basically, they look over and they see a walking broom. Now, this is really freaky because brooms don't walk. So they're all watching the broom, extremely confused, watching the broom advance towards them, and the broom suddenly starts to morph and shapeshift into Vaughn, their aunt, with a package on her head and everything. Now this is really creepy because she's still alive, says my aunt. This is not like this is the dead visiting. This is a walking human. Remember how I said earlier that they were all going to go fetch water? It was my aunt, my dad, my uncle, and my grandfather. And behind them was Vaughn. Apparently, only my aunt and my uncle were able to see Vaughn behind them. My grandfather did not see her when he turned around, and neither did my dad. Creepy, right? It was definitely more about my tante Vaughn. That's what we referred to her as. Oh, I could also talk about my first ever voodoo ceremony that I witnessed. Anyway, comment and let me know. I was at such a low point in my life that I started to question my faith in everything I believed in. Everything that I believed to be true felt like it was being challenged. 2022 and 2023 were like the worst years of my life, where I feel like those 2 years literally could have made me or broke me. But I chose to make myself. I went through a spiritual awakening back in 2020. During the pandemic, I started to really look at my life, my childhood, and myself. And I remember that at the time I came across meditations, manifestation, journaling, and all that good stuff. And from there, it trickled down into an entire spiritual awakening. And this was me unlearning and unwiring myself from Christianity, because ever since I was a kid, it just never really sat right with me. No judgment to Christians whatsoever, but it just, to me, it never resonated. I loved God, but I just didn't like the religion. So the older I got, the more I started to distance myself from religion, and by the time it was 2020, I was 21 at the time, I went through what I would call a spiritual awakening. Then and there, it was very obvious to me that I didn't need to go to church to feel the presence of God or to know God. Now, while God and I, well, everybody's journey to finding God, or whatever that is to you, right, is different. I had a tumultuous relationship with God. So back to 2020, I started journaling and I started meditating. I started doing manifestation meditations, and at the time, one of my biggest goals was to leave my father's house. As if you've seen my previous story times, you would know that my father is quite abusive. So I was pretty much staying with my sister in Philly. I was still in college. I was taking Zoom classes. And would you believe that every single thing that I wrote down in my journal, and I mean every single thing, 9 months later, all came into fruition. So by 2021, I had everything that I had ever asked for. And that was $10,000, a beautiful modern apartment that represents me, that is affordable. I want these large windows, I want 2 TVs, I want a living room, and I want a bedroom for myself. And I want my brand, at the time NRC, to take off, and I want to have all these clients, and I want to be financially abundant. And admittedly, mid-2021, everything I asked for came into fruition. I moved out into this beautiful apartment, which I'm still there right now. After I moved out, even though I had everything that I had asked for, I wasn't motivated. So within the first few months of me living here, I proceeded on having all these experiences, all these memories, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was losing my mind. Because I was reliving experiences that I'm not sure happened. Childhood traumas are coming up. So many things were happening. And I could have chosen to run away from all of those things, but I knew that I had to deal with them. And I did, to the best of my ability. I look at my problems head on, no matter what it is. I've built this level of comfort within myself that I can be as honest as possible, with myself at least. And I can really surrender, accept, and move on. I've begun to heal from countless traumas in my life, and I'm still healing. Before I knew it, the year 2021 was coming to an end, and 2022 came about. Now in 2022, this is where I started to question everything. My life took a complete switch, a complete 180. Everything was different. I was on the verge of losing my apartment. I lost all of my clients. I was fucking depressed. I was absolutely relentless. Like I wouldn't give up. I would get so close to getting acting gigs, and literally like the last step, some bullshit would happen and I'm asked out. It was just inconvenience after inconvenience after inconvenience. And I ran out of money. I was losing a lot of weight because I wasn't eating. I lost family members because my father and I at the time went no contact, and so did my sister and I shortly later. And it just felt like everything was falling apart. Everything was falling apart. I had to work these jobs that I didn't want to work. I knew I didn't have the mental capacity to work these jobs because I deal with chronic depression, which is something that is widely misunderstood. And each day that was going by, I was falling deeper and deeper into depression. I couldn't feed myself. My cats were suffering. Everybody in my life was basically suffering because I was working a job that I hated. In the midst of all of this happening, I'm still going through some sort of healing journey where things of the past are still haunting me. And when my landlord called me to tell me that basically I was about to get kicked out, I worked up $11,000 in back rent. I'm being vulnerable now. We listen and we don't judge. And anybody else in life would have known that it was over for them. But I was relentless. I can't give up. I don't give up. I'm delulu. So I thought that there has to be a way out of this. I lived my life the past year. I know I've made mistakes, and this is my first year being an adult. I was trying to do what felt right in my spirit. If I fucked up, I don't think I deserve to lose everything. And I prayed every day in and day out for a whole 2 years, 2022 into 2023. I was served with an evictions notice, and I was to be taken to court. I really specifically want to talk about the downfall of one's faith and the immense effect that can have on someone. Everything that I believed in was being questioned because I was praying and praying and praying to God every single day, and I still feel like I was falling on my face. So where is God? Does God exist? Is God real? What is the purpose of life? If I am the one creating my reality, this is not a reality that I wanted for myself. I want out of this reality. I want nothing more, God, to get me out of here. And I lived 365 times 2 days, feeling nothing but stagnancy, poverty, pain, loss. I gave up, tried again, gave up, tried again, woke up, stopped, gave up, tried again for over 700 days. And everything I tried failed for the 20,000th time. And I felt like nothing but a failure. Life would never get better for me because obviously God, the universe, whatever it is that I believed in, my higher power, my ancestors, even Loki myself probably have given up on me. And that's a really dark place to be in. I used to have dreams that I was trapped in literal hell every single day. And I started to think maybe the devil is not that bad. Maybe hell isn't the worst place to be, because let's be honest, I've been in hell for the past 700 plus days, and I've been doing nothing but calling out to God, and I was left stranded. Maybe this is where I belong. Maybe this is who I am. And I'm vengeful. So if I felt like God gave up on me or goodness gave up on me, then I give up on you too. Again, y'all, this is just my truth, my story, and I don't mean to offend anybody. This is just where I was. Eventually, I accepted myself and I accepted my darkness. And you know what? Fuck it. We ball. In my darkness, I discovered a sense of peace, a sense of comfort. I felt safe. You're probably wondering, how can you feel these things right in the middle of danger, right in the middle of hell? I surrendered. And in my darkness, I've discovered that maybe I would like to see what it feels like to live in the light. I found so many answers in the dark, like who I was and the type of person that I wanted to be. God or not, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to put the best foot forward. I want to be a loving being. I want to give people other chances. And within realizing, I wanted to give others grace. And within realizing that, I realized that God has been on my side the whole time, and he's been giving me grace the whole time. And it's been so scary and so terrible, and I never thought I would see a lesson, but I somehow came out better. I still made the decision to be the best version of myself, and that right there is God. It didn't matter what I thought, have felt about God before, because I've discovered God in my darkness, in my hell. And it was a journey out of it. But sitting at the end of 2024, having received so much abundance and so much love, I am forever grateful, because I understand that everything is a mirror, everything is a reflection, that God is a reflection of me, and I am a reflection of God, the universe, your higher self, whatever. I'm glad to be here, and I'm grateful for everything I went through, because I truly understand myself now. It took me 2 years to complete that level in life. This level has been worth it, somewhat. I know this isn't the spooky story you guys expect, but I hope within me telling my story, I inspire somebody out there. If you're feeling lost, if you're feeling like your prayers are going on deaf ears, maybe they're not. If you're feeling like life is stagnant and you're not going anywhere, you are. Slowly but surely, the sun will shine for you too. Because just like nature, we all have seasons. I love you, my abducted humans, and I'm so grateful for everything that you guys have given me. I am truly abundant. This is a life that I dreamt, that I wrote down. So thank you guys for making that my reality. I mean it every time that I say that I love you. And I hope you guys have a prosperous, abundant, happy new year. From your favorite Haitian homegirl. I guess it wouldn't be my YouTube channel if I ain't cry on here at least once a month. There's a group chat out there that has 70,000 men in it. And what the fuck are 70,000 men gathered in one group chat for? Of course, because they're obsessed with women. It's a group chat to assist each other to sexually assault women. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. We just got here, and not any random women. All kinds of women. Like, I can't. I can't. Thousands of men are participating in a chat group in which they share suggestions on how to R-word and actually assault women. Some chats also shared pictures while others posted live videos of the assaults. A German man said he would sedate his wife and offer her to other users. Users claim to have assaulted women in their household, including wives, partners, sisters, and mothers. And now they're helping others to do the same. I'm horrified. 70,000 though? That is alarmingly high. Jesus fucking Christ, please decenter men. And ladies, be safe out there. We're taking boxing, taekwondo, whatever we need to do to defend ourselves, because this is actually insane. This is the first day of 2025. Oh, but I have. And this is the first time I ever tried edibles. Your favorite Haitian homegirl is back with another story time. The first time I ever did this, I was in high school. A senior in high school. So at the time, I was best friends with this girl. We're gonna call her London. Me and London at the time, honestly, we were just a recipe for disaster. Now as an adult thinking back, neither of us really came up with any sound ideas that were like safe. but we supported each other's stupid ass ideas to the fullest. And one of those ideas being we're gonna take edibles in school. Neither of us had ever done edibles before. Neither of us had ever even smoked before. But we're gonna take edibles today in school on a Friday. At the time, we were like 17 years old. And Mary Jane was not exactly legal in New York City. So you're probably thinking, where did you guys get the Eddies? Well, we got them from the freshman that was selling them in the school. Listen, she pulled up with like a Ziploc bag full of brownies. She was selling them $5 a pop. $5. Listen, I convinced my father at the time to give me $5, unbeknownst to him that I'm about to spend this on drugs. And mind you, people were raving about this freshman brownies. This girl, like, her brownies were becoming like viral, but like in school. You know, it's Friday, I got my money, I show up and I'm ready for some brownies. But I had to wait until lunchtime because, like I said, the seller was a freshman. So I had to wait till lunch so I, run into her. So keep in mind that lunch is during 4th period. And each period is about 45 minutes. So I'm in my 2nd period and some girls walk in and they had some brownies. Apparently they caught the girl outside and they copped right then and there. And they're sitting next to me and they start munching on them brownies and they talking about how good the brownies are. And I'm like, let me have some, to both of them. And both the ladies broke off a good little piece and gave me some of their brownies. Yes, I will reiterate that I'd never eaten anything of the sort before in my life. I've also never even really like that before. But here I was. I ate both of the pieces that both of the ladies gave me. And around 3rd period, I run into the freshman and I just couldn't wait till lunchtime. I ran to her and I'm like, do you have more left? And thank God she had more left. So I got mine. I get to my 3rd period class and I'm thinking that the Eddies, like, they're gonna hit right away. Like, again, I've never done this before. I've never done any research on this. I'm not thinking. I get to 3rd period and I eat half of my brownie, half of it down. And keep in mind, the 2 girls gave me some of the pieces from theirs, which were pretty generous pieces. 4th period rolls around, it's lunch. Now at this point, London and I, we finally see each other and she goes and gets hers. And mind you, I'm still saving half of mine, but I'm out here eating from London's. Our other friend got some too, and I'm out here taking some from her as well. Yeah, I was wildin'. At this point, it's 4th period, it's lunch. Like, I've been eating them things since 2nd period. This shit don't work for real. I don't feel nothing. I feel regular, degular. So I start going off. Like, I'm about to go back upstairs and press this freshman to get my little $5 back because she clearly has been scamming all of y'all. You guys are got by placebo effect. There is nothing in them brownies, guys. I said, you know what? I'm not about to lose my senior dues over this. Let me just go in the dance room and mind my business. I spoke too soon. We'll say like 35, 40 minutes into lunch. Like, lunch is damn near about to be over. I start feeling so euphoric, so giggly, so happy. Everything was funny. I'm like, oh my God. Like, we had a choreographer that came in and he had taught us a choreography yesterday. And he's asking us, to show him the choreography to see if we worked on it. Bitch, I got 2 left feet. Choreography what? Choreography where? Not here. And I go to sit down and I close my eyes for a second and I open them and right in front of my face, I see a bell and the bell just goes ding. The same time the lunch period ended was the same time my torture started. Y'all, I was fried chicken and rice. I'm standing there, I can't breathe. I'm not going to class. I'm thinking this shit is like liquor. So I'm running to the water fountain trying to drink as much water as I can to wash this out of my system. It starts to feel like I'm blinking in and out of existence. Like, 1 second I'm at the water fountain and then the next second I'm in the bathroom and it's like, how did I get here? I don't feel like myself. I am quite frankly low-key hallucinating. It hasn't even been an hour since they hit. I was in for a ride. But what type of ride was I in for? I remember I was so scared. Mind you, I'm in school. I cannot make the next period. Like, I rushed to one of my mentors. I'm looking at him and I'm just like, I come clean. Because at this point, I'm freaking out. Like, I don't know if this is normal or not. And I tell him, I ate an Eddie and now I don't even know where I am or who I am. I don't even know how I got here. And every time I close my eyes, I see aliens. I think I'm losing my mind. And I am utterly just freaking out. And this mentor, aka my biggest hater, he looks at me and he says, Nayla, you are in the 12th grade. Get it together. You choose now to do this? I mean, I could totally snitch on you. I'm not, but I could. You better go to sleep and figure it out. I mean, he was trying to help, but he instilled more panic. After that, I rush downstairs to the ladies' room and I make myself throw up because again, I'm thinking that this has to work like alcohol, right? Like if I get the problem out of my body, the problem is gone. Wrong. The problem was actually just getting started. At this point, I can't fake it anymore. I can't hide it anymore. I go up to the dance room. I cannot fake this. I cannot hide it. And I'm just sitting there in the dance room tweaking. My dance teacher at the time asked me like, are you okay? And again, I'm freaking out. I can't hold it in. I just come clean. I took an Eddie and I'm freaking out. And here goes my dance teacher. I don't know why you kids keep playing with your lives. You know that there's a lacing epidemic going on right now. You don't see all the kids that's been laced? Do you want to be one of them? How do you know that that brownie was not laced? Well, thank you. New fear unlocked. Am I laced? I'm on the verge of I'm having a panic attack. Oh my fucking God. What am I going to tell my dad? What if I'm stuck like this? What did I do? What the fuck have I done? And somebody else in the room says, girl, you better go to sleep and sleep this off. 7th and 8th period, I have dance. I also have dance practice after school until 6 p.m. Y'all, it's noon. I lay down and I try to go to sleep until I realize I can't breathe. Fuck, damn it, I can't. I'm reminding myself to breathe. And then now I'm like, what if I go to sleep and I forget to breathe and I just die? Now I'm freaking out even more. So I close my eyes and I'm trying to calm myself down. And y'all, the strangest thing happened. Because when I closed my eyes, tell me why, I saw the whole inside of my body. Hear me out. I saw my body laid out. I saw my organs, all the veins that were connected, my skeleton. I swear to God, I'm seeing my insides when I close my eyes. So I can't sleep. Sleeping is out of the question. I could not bring myself to sleep. I was way too overstimulated. Come dance period, it's time for me to dance. A bitch can't dance. Every time I close my eyes, I swear to God, I'm seeing aliens and I'm communicating with aliens. Every time I open them, I am being yelled at by a dance instructor because I'm fucking up so bad and we're so close to performing. Well, after school came around, I still haven't sobered up. I stayed for dance practice. I did not manage to sleep. I went home, made the biggest mistake of my high school life at the time. That's another story time for another day. Went to sleep, woke up, went to ballet class the following morning, and I was still smacked. Yo girl did not sober up until 1 p.m. the following day. So give or take, I was smacked for 27 hours. So yes, I have experienced a big one. And you know what I didn't do? Call the ambulance. I just stuck it out. And low-key, I wish I did. Maybe I'm just jealous that y'all did and I didn't. Anyway, that was my story from your favorite Haitian homegirl. Do you believe in ghosts? Well, I am back with another spooky story. New Year special. Happy New Year, everybody. We made it. Without further ado, let's get into this story time. This story is called My Encounter with the Female Ghost. So in 2023, I was working in a quiet village near Chichester, caring for an elderly gentleman in his 80s who had dementia. I arrived at his home at 2 p.m. where I met his wife and the other caretakers. His wife kindly showed me to my bedroom where I'd be staying. And one detail that I did overlook at the time was that there was a mirror facing the bed. The day passed uneventfully. Nothing happened. We had dinner around 8 p.m. and the client went to bed at 10 p.m. as was typical due to his condition. He woke up during the night and required assistance. His bedroom was adjacent to mine, so I woke up to help him as needed. That night, under a full moon, I assisted him around 2 a.m. Afterwards, I returned to my room and settled into bed to start my reading. When suddenly, y'all, tell me why I noticed a woman emerging from the mirror. I remember the mirror facing my bed. Yeah, there's a woman emerging out of the mirror and it's not my reflection. So startled, I sat up, alert, and the ghost starts approaching me and she began screaming. I asked her, "What do you want?" She didn't respond verbally. She just pointed at my bed. I looked closer and that's when I realized that she had no tongue. He quickly jumped onto the bed with me still laying on it, and though unsettled, I tried to remain calm. She started making noise as she's on the bed, so I explained to her, I'm not your husband. At that moment, I didn't yet understand who she was. I later learned that she was the client's first wife who had passed away 40 years ago. The next morning, I recounted the experience to the family, including his current wife. They showed me family photos and I recognized the woman from the necklace that she had been wearing. This encounter didn't deeply affect me, as I was raised around witchcraft in Zimbabwe and have long been accustomed to the presence of spirits. For me, the dead don't hold the same fear they might for others. So that was a story submission. I read it as it was written. Let me know if you guys like me telling the stories like that. In a first person perspective. Wait, is it third person? No, first person. That's third. Anyway, do y'all like me telling the stories like, my hair is starting to shrink and I'm trying to find the right place to lay, so don't mind. Let me know how you guys feel about me telling the stories like this. I love you, my abducted humans. We have officially made it into the new year together. It's 2025. Make some noise, y'all. What the fuck? I'm wishing you guys an abundant, prosperous new year. And I just cannot wait to see what 2025 has in store for your girl. Anyway, from your favorite Haitian homegirl.